Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. And in this one, I'd like to take a look at some upcoming Kangaskhan decks from a set Mega Evolution. So Kangaskhan is a new Mega Pokemon. It's basic, which is quite appealing. Does mean that you don't have to worry about like evolving and all that crap. You can just slap it onto the bench or start with it, which is really nice. It has 300 HP, which is pretty decent for a basic Mega Pokemon. Like it's not tanky in regards to like other Megas, like in comparison, right? But it is a basic at the end of the day, so we can't really ask too much from these basic Megas. But it is giving up 3 prize cards. We expect it to have at least some HP. But it has the very powerful ability, Run Errand, which just says once in your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may use this ability and draw 2 cards. And you can't use more than one of these abilities each turn. So a very powerful ability, especially have ways of just bouncing around your basic Pokemon, either with the Latias EX or just with regular switches, because sadly Air Balloon won't cut it. It has a high retreat cost of 3. But still, a very powerful ability. Also has the attack Rapid Fire combo, which for 3 colorless energy does 200 damage, and you flip a coin until you get tails, and you do 50 more damage for each heads. So you will have to flip quite a lot of heads to actually KO anything super relevant. Like 1 heads will get you to 250, which is pretty solid, but overall you will need to flip like 2-3 heads in a row, basically, to get anything major, which is a bit of a worry if you're looking to actually attack with Mega Kangaskhan. But that aside, it's a very strong ability, and I could definitely see Mega Kangaskhan, seeing a lot of play just for the ability alone. But as for some new cards to consider, we have Lily's Determination, probably one of the best supporters in the game as of this set. Shuffle your hand to your deck, then draw 6 cards. And if you have 6 prize cards remaining, draw 8 instead. Phenomenal supporter. There is also a Mega Kangaskhan list that's also playing Mega Absol, because Mega Absol is like the main attacker in that deck. So really cool to see Doom Period getting used. So for a Dark and a Colorless, if your opponent's active Pokemon has exactly 6 damage counters on it, that Pokemon is knocked out. So very nice attack. And then we also see a lot of this new item, Mega Signal, which just says search your deck for a Mega Evolution Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, which is slightly better than playing Nest Ball if you just happen to be playing like an all Kangaskhan deck, which we'll look at in just a second. But I think like Mega Signal is pretty good and better than Nest Ball, because there is some situations where you just want the Pokemon out your deck, but you don't necessarily want to play them, right? You just want to get them out of the deck to thin, and then, discard them with other cards. So I think Mega Signal definitely has a place in Mega Evolution decks. So that's really cool to see. But this first list here is pretty bonkers. Like, what is that? 8 different basic energy? But yeah, it's mainly to use Crispin. Like, that's why the list plays for Crispin. I think in theory you could just do the same thing with less energy, like less different energy and more copies of different counts. But really, it shouldn't matter too much because Kangaskhan is only using colorless in its attack cost. But yeah, a very impressive list, also using Bravery Charm, so you can have 350 HP as a basic Pokemon, which is just crackers, really. That's more than Charizard and Dragapult, and you're a basic, so yeah, kind of cool. Also playing the Gravity Mountain Stadium, which is really nice. This means that you'll only need to flip 2 heads, I believe. Yeah, that's right, 2 heads to KO a Charizard or a Dragapult or a Grimmsnarl, for example. So that's also really nice, and should help against other Stage 2. Well, not like Stage 2 Megas, I guess. I mean, will we see Stage 2 Megas? Yeah, we will, Ember. We have Venusaur. Okay. So yeah, that'll help against Venusaur as well. That's nice. Okay. So you'd only have to do 350 to a Venusaur to KO with a Gravity Mountain. That's nice. Also playing the new Acerola, which is really interesting to see. You can only use this card if your opponent has exactly 2 prize cards remaining, and 2 or fewer, I should say, and choose one of your Pokemon in play. And during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage and effects and of attacks done to this Pokemon by attacks of your opponent's Pokemon EX. Wait a minute. I thought Megas give up 3 prize cards, right? So if your opponent goes down to 3 prize cards from carrying your Mega Kangaskhan, then surely you can't play Acerola's Mischief, because then when they KO another Mega Kangaskhan, they just win the game, right? So I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'm missing something really, really obvious here, but yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe, I suppose, like, if your opponent, no, I can't think of anything actually off the top of my head. Okay, maybe there's some like weird use for the States Roller's Mischief, or maybe it's a deck error. I don't think it is a deck error. Like, it's probably something that I'm just missing entirely. But either way, kind of strange actually. Now that I think about it. But yeah, Acerola's Mischief, bit of a weird one. If you can answer this query, do let me know in the comment section. But yeah, pretty interesting overall. Also got a 3 energy switch, tool scrapper, counter catcher, 3 copies of Pokemon catcher. I think it's a bit greedy. I could get it using like Crispin and Judge, but like, come on, boss's orders all the way, please. 3 Iono, no Lily in this build, but also playing Penny, which is, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, you just want an energy switch, and then you can Penny one of your Mega Kangaskhan's back to your hand. That's kind of cool. So, for some fun combos there to be had. But yeah, the Acerola is really throwing me off. I feel like there's something really obvious as well, but like, yeah, it's just not coming to me. Oh, Legacy Energy. That's why. Yes, Legacy Energy. So the A-spec of choice in this deck is Legacy Energy. So your Mega Kangaskhan will give up 1 less prize. Okay, that's cool. So your first Kangaskhan will get the Legacy Energy, and that's the intention, I guess. And then it only gives up 2 prize cards. Then your opponent, yeah, see how that works. Your opponent only takes 2 prize cards. They KO another Kangaskhan, so they only have, yeah, so they basically got to take 3 knockouts, I guess, to win the game. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, Acerola's Mischief actually not as bad as I thought. Okay, so yeah, definitely with the Legacy Energy, it's cool. But yeah, you still have to find it. But, you know, pretty fun list overall, I would say. Next up is we got this Kangaskhan Absol build. So mainly using Absol to attack, but also got like Budew. Also got this Evoultion, which retreat locks, which is kind of cool to see. There's no Crispin in this build, so I'm guessing you're exclusively attacking with your 1 copy of Mega Absol and your Budew, I guess. It's a bit of a strange one for me personally because like you don't, yeah, you're very reliant on that Absol, right? Because you're not really going to power anything else up in time. You do have like Turbo Energize, so I guess you could power up another Mega Kangaskhan if you really wanted to attack with it and just like drag out the game as long as possible, like heal your Megas with Monkey Dories and Frostlass. And, you know, that way you can get KOs with Doom Period. But it's a very interesting list overall. I think it's a very cool take on the whole Monkey Dory, Frostlass, Budew spread thing. But yeah, we'll just have to see if it's any good, to be honest. Also playing Scoop Up Cyclone as the A-spec of choice. Pretty cool. Does mean that if you start with Blood Moon as well, it's not as bad, I guess. Also, like, shifting your Pokemon might be a bit annoying in this build. Because, like, yeah, you don't play any switches, you play 1 air balloon, so you're definitely not shifting Mega Kangaskhan anytime soon. So, like, yeah, I'm not really sure about this list. Like, it seems interesting. Like, maybe you want to leave Kangaskhan the active spot for ages, and then, you know, like, get the Frostlass pings on it, and then heal it with Monkey Dory. But, yeah, it's a strange list overall, though. I'm not really sure how to feel about this one. I think the previous one's a bit better. Like, you can use Penny, I guess, to move Kangaskhan, but I don't know, it seems a bit slow to be honest overall, but yeah, it's an interesting list. Next up is we have Kangaskhan as more of a tech card in a Raging Bolt deck, that is. Raging Bolt with Ogerpon. Kind of cool to see. This is one of the more traditional uses I think we'll see of Kangaskhan, and certainly one of the more professional uses. Now, interesting enough, I don't know who said it, but someone quite big in the community said something along the lines of Kangaskhan could replace Mew EX in decks. Don't know who said that, but someone did. I remember hearing it somewhere, okay? But Mega Kangaskhan, as you'll see in this list, is running 2 copies, and then also 2 copies of Mew EX. So, like, do you need both? I wouldn't have thought so. Like, if Kangaskhan's getting you 2, you already have Pheasantipity as well. Like, I don't think you're going to have the bench space for, like, all of these Pokemon. I guess it gives you more choices at the very least, and you can just discard them with Vestal and Ultra Ball if you don't need them, but still, a very interesting option. I guess you could even attack with it, right? With Crispin if you wanted to, but yeah, it's strange. There's no like energy switch in this build actually, so that's definitely a bit harder. But you do have a Latios, so you can get free retreat. Latias, I should say. You do have 2 copies of Squawkabilly. Yeah, this list is cool, but like I don't know how to feel about the whole running 2 Mew EXs as well as 2 Kangaskhan. I feel like they have a very similar function in this sort of deck, but yeah, it's kind of cool though. I would definitely like to take another look at Raging Ball. I haven't actually played any Raging Ball since it used Sandy Shocks as a way of charging up energy, so quite a long time ago now, but a very cool list overall. If you happen to be a big Raging Bolt fan, let me know what you think about this list down below. You know, do you think it's really cool or do you think it's awful or whatever? So yeah, do let me know. But this last list I want to take a look at, apologize for being blurry, but it is a Kangaskhan Terrapagos build, taking advantage of the high consistency offered by Noctowl, and also just the power of Bouffalante, so you get to take minus 60 less damage, which is pretty cool on its own. but you also have Bravery Charm to get plus 50 HP. So yeah, a very, very tanky build. You've also got Glass Trumpet to accelerate some energy. Also running some TM Devolution, actually, I think that is, which is interesting. Like, you don't always see that in Terrapagos, but, fun option nevertheless. Also rocking regular switches, no Latias. I think you could make room for Latias, to be honest, but, regular switches are always fine. And also got Hero's Cape if you really want to go the extra mile. So you can have a 400 HP Kangaskhan taking minus 60 less damage from attacks, which is pretty ridiculous. Like, I know Tool Scrapper will still be around, but I don't think everyone's running Tool Scrapper, and no one's in a rush to run it as well. So you could really catch some people off guard, I think, with a Hero's Cape. So yeah, 4 copies of Big Charm, 1 Hero's Cape, kind of crazy. No Arvin, very light on the support account in this one. 3 Crispin, 3 Iono, 2 Boss, that's it. Which is a bit sketch, less than 10 supporters. Not sure how to feel about that overall, but either way, a very strong list overall, I would say, and probably one of the better lists in this video for sure. But yeah, thank you for watching. Kangaskhan is a bit of a weird one to talk about. It's honestly not a Pokemon that I thought would be super powerful in the Pokemon TCG, but it looks like people have found plenty of ways to play it already. So yeah, let me know what you think about Kangaskhan down below. And yeah, thank you for watching.